G'day, Grievers. Welcome back to the Shitty Kitty Kitchen. Just went live a little bit earlier and I'm waiting for my YouTube page to realise I'm live so that I can mute it. We are cooking tonight a tuna and lemon pasta that I make a lot. It's one of those ones that you can ad-lib a little bit, like you can add bits and pieces, mix it up a little bit. If you get the process right, then you can be creative and do with it what you will. I've already got water up to the boil. I'm just going to crank it back up to high because I didn't think you'd need to watch water boiling. But as soon as that's boiling, it's salted water. I'll get on with cooking the pasta, and while that's cooking, I'll show you a slightly different way, I guess, to make pasta. Some of you might have used this method. It might be new to some of you, but hang out with me and we'll make some dinner. It's a really cold night tonight, so I think it's a good night for some pasta. Plus, I have been cooking a lot of keto-friendly stuff lately, so I felt it was time to do something with carbs. I'm not doing keto 100%. So, yeah, occasionally you will find carbohydrates will sneak into recipes that I do on this channel. That's coming up to the boil already. This is my fabulous Tupperware pasta container. The reason it's fabulous is because it's got measurers inside for like one serving or for two. This recipe that I'm doing tonight, well, it's not a recipe, it's in my brain. But I'm doing 2 serves because I don't need... It's really good when it actually comes out. This container's a little bit full. But I'm just going to chuck... I'm doing spaghetti, but you can use whatever pasta you want. Hey, Green Eyes. Why isn't it coming out? This thing normally is brilliant. It's not working. How are you, Green Eyes? I'm just taking a few more strands out because I didn't get the full sort of amount for 2 servings. That's the last time I plugged that Tupperware product. And I'm just going to push the spaghetti down. But like I said, you can use whatever pasta you like. Where's my little wooden spatula? Rigatoni, penne, whatever floats your boat. And that's going to take about 10 or 12 minutes to cook. So while that's cooking, I'm going to show you how to make the really cool sauce and assemble the whole thing. I hope you will, Green Eyes. Yeah, I love anything with a lemon too. Now, I am, sometimes when I make this, I literally just do the tuna, the chilli, and the lemon. But I do have some cherry tomatoes, and I'm going to chuck a few of those in as well. So, yeah, I'm just going to heat up this little pan over here. This is what we're going to make the sauce in. And this is such an easy sauce, but it's so, so yummy. I like teaching you groovers how to make really yummy pastas. You need about 2 tablespoons, like a fairly decent amount, because the oil is essentially going to be the sauce with things in it. I'm just going to put a bit more in, and that will heat up. And once it's heated up, we're going to add a few little bits and pieces. Firstly, some lemon zest. Now, I noticed I've got a bit of a leftover sad-looking little lemon, so I'm going to use the juice of that. But I'm actually going to get some zest off a fresh lemon. This is one of those dishes when you're driving home. Like, people should always have a tin of tuna in their pantry, and everything else you should have. Although I do like serving this with fresh basil, and I had a little basil plant and it carked it. So I don't actually have any basil. I'm going to use some semi-dried or lightly dried parsley just for the greenery. But yeah, this, when I make this, fresh basil on top is my preference. And we're just getting a little bit of the lemon zest happening. You probably, like if you're like me, Green Eyes, well you are because you love lemons, like do the whole lemon. About 1/3 of a cup worth. It is tuna and lemon pasta after all. Lemon thyme is beautiful too, yes. I have got thyme out in my garden, but not lemon thyme. I keep thinking of, I've got a couple of spare pots, what to put in it. I should put lemon thyme on the list. All right, so I've fully zested that lemon. And we'll just see if the oil's starting to heat up because the bit of lemon zest will start to bubble. I'll put a decent blob in. Still haven't bought fresh garlic cloves, so I'm using the easy peasy garlic paste. You want for like 2 servings. I love a bit of garlic too, so I'm going to do like 2 little blobs, which is sort of the equivalent of 2 cloves. We've really just got to wait for this pan to heat up and cast iron. It will take a little bit longer. While it's heating up, I'll put my hand protecting device on it. If you've got cast iron pots, I thoroughly recommend you get one of these. This one's a Le Creuset one, and I have a lot of Le Creuset pots, but any sort of rubber, is it rubber or silicone, whatever it is, to go on the handles, because the handles get as hot as the pan. All right, that lemon zest is starting to sizzle a little bit, just giving the spaghetti a stir. But yeah, really easy. If you're driving home and you're like, crikey, what are we having for dinner? This one you can whip up. And if you've got kids and you don't want it to be too spicy, you can take the chilli flakes out of it. So the lemon zest is going in the little frying pan. Look at my new breadboard. It's got a little, it's hard to lift it up. It's going to mess everything up. But it's got a little edge on it that holds it in place when you're working on it. Absolutely love it. I'm going to put a couple of blobs of the garlic in. The equivalent. Oh, that's a lot of garlic. That's all right. I love garlic, so just won't snog anyone tonight. And then I'm just going to, this is me adding a few things that I don't normally have. Like I just happen to have some cherry tomatoes, and I love cherry tomatoes and tuna. So I thought, bugger it, why not throw them in too? Give that a bit of a mix up. Get all those yummy flavours happening in the sauce. Let's use the rest of the tomatoes. Do you grow herbs too, Green Eyes? I can't stand food wastage, so every time I cook, I do a bit of a scan through my fridge and like my crisper and everything. Like, what else can I chuck in? I'm going to make zucchini fritters tomorrow. Speaking of not liking wastage, I was meant to make something with zucchini earlier in the week, and I didn't. I don't know what happened. I think I've got a couple there to use, and I'm like, right, it's zucchini fritter time. But we just want this to have a good little cook, let all the flavours get through. The cherry tomatoes will slow the cooking down a bit, but you want to keep an eye on the lemon zest because you want that to sort of be a little bit crispy, a bit caramelised. While that's cooking, I'm just going to open up the tuna. Tuna annoys me. Like, this is a 425-gram tin, plus you can get like the little 90-gram tins. But so many recipes... well, very few recipes ever have like a tin size that you can buy. And you've always got not quite enough or a little bit too much. So this is going to be a little bit too much. I wouldn't put a whole tin, this big a tin just for 2 people. But I love me some tuna, and I can make a tuna melt or something for lunch over the weekend. Sunny's in the kitchen. Hello, gorgeous. I'm just draining the water. This is tuna in spring water. bit of the water doesn't hurt. Sonny went to the vet today. She was such a good girl. It was just her annual checkup. There wasn't anything wrong. And I'm just going to break this up a little bit in the tin with the fork. You're going to have fried rice? Oh, yeah, do it. Let me know what you think. Always put a comment if you make something. And also, if anyone ever wants to suggest something for me to make, if they pop it in the comments, I will happily do it. Unless it's pork. I have put probably a tiny bit too much oil in there, but the beauty of doing the sauce separately is you can meter out what you want. I'm just going to get my chili flakes. Because I do like a bit of spicy. But if you're making this for a family, leave the chili flakes out. And yeah, I'll probably use about 2/3 of this tin, and I will put a little bit of water, like I'll put it in a little container with a little bit of water in it, but I'll have it in the next couple of days as a tuna melt because they're yummy too. That's all just happily cooking away. I'll just give the spaghetti another stir. The spaghetti won't be much longer. This is really quick to make too. It's one of those perfect, you know, if you think about something to cook while you're driving home, think of this one because you'll make it all and be eating it so quickly. Really just got to wait for that paschetti to cook. Actually, while that's happening, I'm just going to shave up some parmesan. Thankfully, I do actually have legitimate parmesan cheese, treated with the garlic and the herbs. And when for shaving, I just use a little veggie peeler and just do thin shaves. But you can obviously buy already shaved palmy, but I tend to buy my palmy in a block. I'm just shaving up enough for one serving for tonight. I quite like cold pasta too, like it's more like a pasta salad. So, like if I took this to work, I'm not working tomorrow, but if I took it to work, I don't like heating up anything with seafood in it in the work kitchen. So I would eat it cold. I'd take it out and let it get to room temperature and just eat it like a salad. Okay, we're getting a bit of crispy happening now on the lemon zest, which is great. You eat loads of chilies. Excellent. Seems to be only people with kids that get a bit funny with the chili. All right, let's see how the pasta's going. I'm going to do the tile test. Do you do this, Green Eyes, where you fling the pasta at the wall, and if it clings to the tiles, which it hasn't, it's ready. Yeah, it's a few minutes away from that. I might give Sonny a little treat. And just give her a tiny bit of tuna out of the tin. Hey, oops, come here. Look, there's some tuna. She hasn't got much of an appetite tonight. I gave her her favourite tonight, which is duck in an orange sauce. And she normally licks the plate clean. But I think her little vaccination knocked her around a little bit. Now, I don't remember when I first learnt this recipe or where or anything. You fling it in your mouth. Yeah, well, I just flung it in my mouth too. Oh, pasta cold with mayo and corn. Yum. I do like a pasta salad. Just going to wash my hands. That's another bit tunery. But yeah, she's been a little bit lackluster after her vaccination, but she'll feel fine tomorrow, I'm sure of it. Oh no, poor Sunny Bum. So I've just put this down to a lower heat. And like I said, I've probably overdone the oil. Oh, what I was going to say was the first time I ever made this, from memory, the recipe, you put the sauce in like a container and you put the pasta with everything else in the bowls and then put the sauce in a little jar on the side, but I don't. But because I have gone a bit crazy with the oil, I might leave some of that out. The pasta's only a couple of minutes away from being done, so I might as well put a few things away. Yeah, poor kitty. Look, I think she'll be all right tomorrow. She was so good. She didn't make a noise, not with me putting her in the container, driving her to the vet. At the vet, she gave another cat, Gidget. You can't beat an olive oil. Exactly. And with really simple flavors. Like I said, this is beautiful just doing the chili, the tuna, the lemon zest. I'm just literally adding those cherry tomatoes because they were floating around. Let's see how the paschetti's doing. Yeah, probably needs 1 more minute. I'll try that though. Pasta cold with mayo and cream. Oh, mean, sorry, and corn. I often do, not that we seem to do buffets or anything anymore, but I used to, or, if you go to someone's house and having a barbecue, I often gravitate towards the pasta salads. I like capers too. And the beauty of this kind of sauce with olive oil is you can really put whatever you want in it. You can be as creative as you want. Oh yeah, we're nearly there. And yeah, mix and match, put all kinds of random things. It would be delightful. Now, even though this has got lemon zest in it, I am going to use up that little half a lemon and put some lemon juice in as well. But I'm going to do that when I've drained the pasta. Speaking of draining the pasta, I reckon it's good to go. Give it a shake. Never rinse pasta. Rinse rice, don't rinse pasta. And I always, even though I've turned the element off, I always chuck the pasta, the pan, back onto the element with the pasta. Because that residual heat, I think, gets the last bit of moisture off the pasta, and it just helps with letting the sauce cling, and it stops it from being watery. And I honestly think I just started doing that and it worked. I was like, oh, this is efficient. All right, let's start assembling this. So first up, we're going to put the tuna fish in. And just like I said, this is a really big tin, but I'm putting in enough for like 2 serves. Probably about half the tin. Maybe a bit more. We're going to be eating a lot of tuna in the next couple of days. There'll be tuna melts and I might even, it's probably enough there to even make a little mornay or something. Like that. I'm adding lemon juice as well, but like I said, that's entirely up to you. I just happen to have half a lemon floating around in the fridge. Then the chili flakes, depending on how spicy you want it. I'm actually not putting mountains in tonight. I've been eating a lot of really spicy food. I need a night of just something not mellow. It's still got some chili in it, but not crazy. I'm going to chuck in some parsley. Like I said, I normally would use basil, and I'd probably be more likely just to garnish it as well. Put a bit of fresh basil into the sauce. the assembly bit, and then a bit on top. But I'm cheating because, well, I'm not cheating. I just don't have any basil. There's no basil. I have dried basil, but I don't actually know why I've got dried basil. I don't know what recipe I made that warranted that. And I'm just going to grab some of the tomatoes and the lemon zest and pop that on first, and then just put a little bit of oil in at the end, and then mix it together and see what I think, if it needs a bit more oil, because I did go a bit crazy with the oil. But at least if we get the tomato and the lemon zest in, most of it in. And I'm going to whack a little bit of the oil in now. So I'm going to look at seeing some sort of light I can put on the bottom of this shelf to sort of illuminate, because my shadow gets in the way. That's what it'd be looking like. And again, the colours just don't come up as good on the camera as they look in the flesh. That's probably almost enough oil, to be honest. I might put a tiny bit more in just for good measure. There we go. Did that with my right hand and I'm left-handed. That was pretty silly. I nearly lost the whole thing in the pot. Also, don't forget to season with some yummy salt. And pepper. Well, I'm nearly done, so you can, you'll be able to get on with it and let me know what you think. One last little mix-a-rooney. Super easy. Family favourite. Gets made a lot in this house. And it's just one of those yummy, classic, wintry, stodgy, carby. I noticed I've got some keto people coming to my channel at the moment because I've been doing a lot of keto. And now they're going to be like, oh, my God, she's a heathen. So, yeah, this has made 2 serves. Just getting some of the tuna and tomato off the bottom of the pan. In fact, I'll probably eat the other serving tomorrow like a little salad. Then whack on top of that. It is prettier in the flesh than it looks. But whack on top of that your shaved palmy. And I always can't help myself. I always have to put pepper on the top. I don't like food that sort of looks cream or white. It needs pepper. And then I'll just do a little taste test, although I already know this is an absolute 10 out of 10 ripper. But how easy is that? And it's an absolute winner. It's delicious. You can eat it the next day, cold or hot. Use whatever you've got. Your tummy's rumbling. Oh, my God, my tummy this morning. I didn't eat enough food last night. It was crazy. When I got to the vet, it was pretty early when we went to the vet, and my stomach was roaring. But there it is. Spicy tuna and lemon pasta. Yep. As always, it's amazing. Let me know what you think, Green Eyes, and if you could pop a comment under this video, that would be awesome. But I'm going to go and eat my dinner. This is water, but cheers, everybody. Anyone enjoying watching this on a replay, please hit the thumbs. And if you could subscribe, that would be great. I'd really love to get my channel to 100 subscribers by the end of the year. We've still got a few months, and I only think we need 3 or 4 more. So, yeah, let me know how it goes, Green Eyes. Thanks for hanging out with me, and also to the other person who didn't say a word. And I'll see you all again very soon. Bon appetit.